The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Here's a difficult story. Terry Williams has been sentenced to be executed for killing two men. Now, the two men sexually abused him as a child. This is something that the jury did not know during the trial. Terrence Williams is in Pennsylvania. He's been sentenced to death for two murders he committed when he was 17 and 18 years old, respectively. The jury did not know that he had been brutally raped as a child by the two men that he killed. He killed, Williams and one other teen killed one man just a few months after Williams had turned 18, according to Change.org. He also admitted to having killed a man 5 months earlier when he was still 17 years old. One man was a church leader, and another was a sports booster. They used their positions to get access to young men, as we see happen really very, very often, Lewis, in these situations.
Right.
I don't even know where to start with this. I mean, Williams was allegedly sexually abused for years by these men. He was abused by other older individuals throughout his life. His mother abused him frequently. His father was completely absent. His first experience with sexual assault was when he was 6 years old, and this abuse continued steadily for the next 12 years of his life. How do we know the abuse accusations are true, not just Williams making a calculated attempt to get off of death row and instead to have life in prison? Well, according to The Nation, it was not until this past winter that another witness would come forward, a former pastor named Charles Poindexter, who knew Norwood for 30 years. Norwood is the one of the accused here. He admitted having known that he had sexually abused teen boys. Now, of course, why didn't Williams come forward? We know the story. He was embarrassed. He was ashamed by the abuse. We know the story so well at this point, Lewis.
Right.
So what is going to happen now? Well, a lot of notable people have come forward and said we want his sentence to be reduced to life without parole. Now, who's among those objecting? The wife of one of the victims, in other words, the widow of one of the men that Williams killed, is saying he shouldn't be put to death. 5 jurors from the trial are saying, had we known this, we would not have opted for the death penalty. We've signed affidavits saying he should not be put to death. Judges, child advocates, former prosecutors, law professors. Jurors from the trial now are very clear, saying they would never have voted for the execution if they had known about this. What do you think?
Well, I mean, as I'm sure most of our listeners know, we're against the death penalty. I think this is another example of why we should not have the death penalty. But, I mean, yeah, the abuse can definitely have an effect on your mind, right? I mean,
well, you're getting to what we're really getting to here, which is people say, listen, okay, even if he didn't really get a fair trial from his lawyer, evidence of sexual abuse wouldn't make a difference in sentencing. That's not true, though. Number one, we have sworn affidavits from the jurors saying they would have voted differently had they known about that. And number two, if you do present the rape evidence, everything could go differently because, as Lewis is saying, you're opening up the door to saying, well, listen, if you're raped this many times, PTSD may be a factor, a mental condition may have been a factor here. You're really we can't say only knowing about the rapes would not have changed anything. It very well may have.
Right. So is it possible to have like an appeal because of this new evidence?
It's not clear. Right now, all we know is that the death warrant for October 3rd, which is coming up quickly, was signed by Republican Governor Corbett last week. He's, of course, a Catholic Republican who, as we've seen, the Catholic faith, Catholic Church, very clear that we should not have the death penalty. For all the things the Catholic Church does wrong, they don't think we should have the death penalty. And Corbett signing that death warrant, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. It really is up to the governor, who can use their discretion to say, we are not going to do execution here.
Right.
That has not happened yet.
Right. Yeah, it's a sad story. I mean, I hope things go differently. Obviously, I don't think this man should be executed.
And again, what we're talking about here is not setting him free. We're talking about life in prison without parole, which, by the way, for a lot of people is a worse sentence than being put to death, and for a lot of people it's not.
Either way, it's pretty bad. I mean, realistically, I don't see any situation in which he ends up in some type of secure mental institution or anything of the sort.
No.
But you know what? You murder 2 people. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
It is, but the question then becomes, what is the appropriate sentence here? Murder is murder. I don't disagree with you. Now, let's also think about this differently. Remember, if the murder had occurred as a retaliation when there was a rape attempt made, all of a sudden,
Self-defense.
you're talking about self-defense, you're talking about manslaughter. The fact that it was after the fact and that he said, I'm going to seek these people out.
It was premeditated.
It's a different story. Very complicated case for sure. I want to hear your emails, your thoughts about this.